What's going on, everybody? Steve here, Raking Profit with Gizzy Profits. And today, what we're going to be sharing is 7 items that I sold on Amazon within the month of October 2025. So I know at the time of this recording, it is November, but I want to share with you 7 products that I bought on eBay and flipped on Amazon for some pretty killer profits. Now, before we get into this video, I want to give a big shout out to Seller Amp, who is the sponsor of today's video. And I'll tell you guys right now, before I ever buy an item on eBay to flip on Amazon, or if I'm doing online arbitrage or retail arbitrage, flipping new items, I'm always using Seller Amp to analyze my deals to figure out if it's a good ROI, if it's a good profit, if I'm gated, if I'm ungated, can I sell it, if there's IP issues, to see all the offers and beyond. So big shout out to Seller Amp. And without further ado, let's dive into this video. And I want to share with you literally how I've sold over $700,000 in the last 12 months, put over 6 figures profit in my pocket, flipping items from eBay to Amazon. Today, I'm going to expose 7 of those products. So with that being said, let's get into today's video. All right, guys, so we are here inside of my computer, and I want to break down and just expose and share with you guys these 7 products that I flipped from eBay to Amazon in the month of October 2025, okay? Now, the first item that I flipped was a Woody Allen collection DVD. And on every one of these 7 items, I'm not gonna just share with you what I sold, but I'm gonna share with you when I purchased it, how much I paid in total, and I'm gonna share with you a couple screenshots. Number one, a go-to-lister screenshot to prove that I actually sold the item. And this will break down like some expenses and profit and whatnot. But I'm also gonna share with you in the bottom right-hand corner, that is a screenshot from inside of Seller Amp. So again, Seller Amp, big shout out for sponsoring this video, but I'm always using Seller Amp because I want to be able to know if I'm eligible to sell the item, which obviously if I sold it, I am. But if you're, ever analyzing a deal, you need to know if you're gated or restricted, how many monthly sales the item sold over the last 30 days, the best seller rank known as BSR, the max cost, what's the most I could pay to sell it at. For me, a 50% ROI. And then the cool thing is you can put in your buy cost, your selling price, and it'll essentially account for all of the fees, expenses, and whatnot, and break down what your profit and ROI will be. Now, the cool thing about Seller Amp is they have 2 different products that comes with the plan. The plan's about $20 a month. Product number 1 is just a Chrome extension that pretty much overlays an Amazon sales page. So when I'm, analyzing a deal on Amazon, Seller Amp will just pop up over it, and then I could, check the Keepa chart. I could put in my buy cost, my selling price. In this example right here, you could see the eBay invoice. I bought this on July 28th. So it did take a couple months to, sell, check in and whatnot, but I paid $38.22 and I sold it for $95.99. Guys, this is the power of buying items on eBay and flipping them on Amazon. eBay is like a 24/7 thrift store garage sale, but it's not just your local town, it's the freaking whole entire United States. So you know how you go to the thrift store and items fall through the cracks, an item's worth $50 and you're able to pick it up for $1 or $2. The same thing happens on eBay, but you're not paying $1 or $2, right? You're finding a $100 item for $30, $35. And the cool thing is you buy it on eBay, it'll get shipped right to your house, or in my case, my prep center, you don't have to see it, you don't have to touch it, or it just shows up on your porch and you list it and ship it, bada bing, bada boom. But right here, you can see with Seller Amp, I made $35.33 profit and a 92% ROI. Guys, if you're not ungated in DVDs, you gotta get ungated. Here's another item that I sold in the month of October 2025. So I actually purchased 2 of these DVDs. It's called the Police Academy, and I sold one of them for $60.99. So you can see the go-to-lister screenshot. Go-to-lister has an app where you can see all your sales, your profit, and whatnot. But again, Seller Amp is what I use to kind of break all the deals down. And you can see this only had 4 sales a month. You might be thinking to yourself, 3, 4, 5 sales a month. I want to deal with the products that sell 50, 60, 70, 80 times. No, you don't. Why? Because that's what everyone else is going after. A lot of these traditional online arbitrage guys and wholesale guys, they're making 5, 7, 8, 9% ROI. You don't want to be dealing with that stuff. You want to be making the 50, 60, 70, 80, 86% ROI, and that's what I made here, an 86% ROI, $20 profit. And I have one more, which it might have already sold, to be honest with you, but you can see I made about $20 profit. You can see sometimes go-to-lister and Seller Amp might show a little bit different information because I've got some additional fees and things that I add into Seller Amp compared to go-to-lister. So they're gonna be off a tiny bit, but the big thing to look at right here is number 1, eBay to Amazon, okay? using Replay Catcher. If you guys haven't checked out Replay Catcher, it's the tool that I've developed and use to find all these undervalued deals. But look at this, $23 to $60.99, guys. Bought this in August, so it took about a month and a half, 2 months to sell, but a really great flip right here. All right, let's move on to number 3. I believe this is a CD. I don't sell a lot of CDs nowadays. I sell a lot more DVDs just because they're higher ticket, they sell faster. But this is one that I bought at the end of September 26th. As you can see with the eBay invoice, I paid $17.66. So what did I do? I used SellerAmp, I put in my buy cost. I analyzed it with the Keepa chart, which SellerAmp has a free Keepa chart. So don't even, if you're not super advanced using like Keepa Product Finder or Keepa Alerts, you don't even need to pay for Keepa. SellerAmp literally has it built in. But I put in my buy cost to $17.66. I sold it for $50.23. 41,000 rank, 4 sales over the last 30 days. And another one, 93% ROI right here, $16 profit. And you might be thinking to yourself, Steve, I could go to the thrift store and I can buy an item for $1 or $2 and sell it for 50. Why would I want to buy items on eBay? What's the benefit here? And I got my cats going crazy. Come on, guys, let's behave for YouTube. What's the benefit of buying on eBay or maybe buying from Amazon or doing any form of online arbitrage? The power is you don't have to spend all your time hunting down the deals. You can literally deploy your capital. You can leverage softwares like Replay Catcher and SellerAmp to analyze the deals, source the deals, have them come to your house or directly to a prep center. So you're using your money to work for you instead of your physical body. And another thing to keep in mind is there's only so many deals you're gonna be able to find at the thrift store, at the library sales, at the garage sales. Plus, another thing is a lot of times you're having to deal with $20, $30 items at the thrift store, which is fine, but I'm flipping on average items that are selling for 50, 60, 70, 80 bucks. And I'm not sharing with you like my super high ticket stuff because I flip a lot of toys, electronics, tools, office supplies. I just don't share a lot of them in these videos because, a lot of the beginners aren't ungated for those different brands and, products and whatnot. So I like to share items that I'm flipping that, are realistic for people to find that people can actually sell. But you can see here, 41,000 rank within the, CDs and DVDs category, which for me, when I'm dealing with CDs and DVDs, I like to say under 100,000 rank. You could certainly flip CDs and DVDs for 150, 200, even 300,000 rank, but they're a little bit slower. And when you're spending $17.66 on an item, you want the item to move within, a couple months or less. So that was flip number 3. Flip number 4, we have a little handheld electronic game right here. Now, I've sold this thing probably like 10 or 20 times over the last couple of years. And you can see that I bought this with Replay Catcher on eBay for $43.99 from the Cripple Creek Trading Company. I like that name. And after I put this into SellerAmp to break down how much money I'm gonna make, you're gonna be able to see I made $29.27 profit and a 66% ROI. Now, one cool thing that you can do with SellerAmp, again, if you're selling new products, if you're doing eBay to Amazon, if you're doing online arbitrage, it's really for new products. If you're selling used, it's not gonna come up. So I would recommend using the Amazon Seller app or Scout IQ or Scoutly for like used books and stuff. SellerAmp's not gonna apply. The cool thing is you could put in what you want your minimum ROI to be. For me, I don't wanna mess with stuff less than 50%, okay? So if the item is more than a 50% ROI, or I think an $8 or a $10 profit I have set for my standard, you'll see right there where it says the profit of $29.27, it's in green. And then the ROI is in green, 66.54. If it was less than my standards, like if it was like a 42% ROI, it would come up red. Another thing you can see next to estimated sales, which this item has been estimated to sell 16 times in the last month, you can see max cost. So since my minimum ROI is 50%, I don't want to buy items less than 50%. SellerAmp knows the most I could pay for this item if I sold it for $92.16 is $48.83, because after running the math, if I bought it for $48.83 and sold it for $92.16, that would come out to a 50% ROI. But I bought it for $43.99, not $48, sold it for $92.16 and made 66% ROI. So be on the lookout for these little handheld games, especially Radica games. If you come across Radica, R-A-D-I-C-A, new, sealed, some of those things can make you so much money. I'm not kidding, guys. I've sold some of those games for $150, $200, even $300. Just go on the eBay sold listings and take a look. Now let's get into another toy category item, which is a board game. The board games on Amazon are within the toy category. For toys, I'm usually looking to stay under 400,000 rank. I have sold Lego sets up to 750,000 rank, right? So these are all just general rules, but you can see that I paid $32.57 on eBay for this item, sourced it with Replay Catcher, put it in the seller ramp, right? $32.75 is my cost price, my buy price. I sold it for $79.99, which you can see in the top right-hand corner, verify that I actually sold it. And I made almost $28 profit on this item. Brand new sealed. This is a Monopoly game, Despicable Me themed. And a lot of these Monopoly games that are brand new sealed, if you're ungated, flip them. I'm telling you, these things can make a lot of money. They sell very, very quick. I purchased this September 18th, and these all sold in October, so you know, they didn't actually sit for very long. And you do have to understand, it's not taking as long as you think for these items to sell, because it takes, 3 to 7 days for the eBay seller to ship it to my prep center. Then it could take a week or two at times, sometimes more, depending on how busy the prep center is, for them to receive it and then get enough products to ship it. And then it has to get shipped to Amazon. So that could take another week or so, or 2 weeks for it to ship there and get checked in and received. And then it actually has to sell. So when you're seeing sometimes that it's taking 2 months to sell, it doesn't necessarily mean this is an item that takes 2 months to sell. You have to understand, I'm using a prep center, I'm buying off of eBay, and there's a bunch of different moving pieces that are kind of slowing the process down. So, in the beginning, when you start eBay to Amazon, your cash flow might be a little bit slower if you're gonna do FBA, because I'm 100% FBA. I don't see my products, I don't touch my products, I don't list them, I don't ship them anymore. It's 100% my team buys them with Replay Catcher, gets shipped to Little Owl Prep in Ohio. They receive it all, and Little Owl Prep has a software where you can kind of organize everything and whatnot. And then it gets shipped to FBA, and when it sells, they pick it, package, ship it, and I get paid in 2-week cycles. So that's kind of the name of the game right here. But as you can see, 83% ROI. Big shout out to SellerAmp for helping me to analyze this deal. And let's get into the 6th flip, another DVD. This is a Jean Harlow 100th anniversary from 2011. And this is a common theme. When you're doing eBay to Amazon, you wanna fly under the radar. You wanna go after items that are selling 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 10 times a month. You don't wanna be going after DVDs less than 10,000 ranks, selling 70 times a month, eBay sellers selling multiple quantities, crazy complete series that are newer, maybe still in the stores, which I don't even know if DVDs are in the stores. Those are the ones that are counterfeited. Those are the ones that are higher risk of getting a counterfeit complaint or even having IP issues. So I'm always flying under the radar, guys, and I've promoted this video a million times. Watch this video, how to fly under the radar when doing eBay to Amazon flipping. This is how I've sold over 6,000 products for over $600,000. This is how I've done believe it or not, almost $100,000 in the last 30 days, okay? Matter of fact, yesterday I just posted in my eBay to Amazon Facebook group, I did almost $9,000 in one day. eBay to Amazon is like a glitch in a matrix. It's gotta be one of the easiest ways to make money, the best ways to make money, the fastest ways to make money. Of course, is there risk? Yeah. Are you gonna have to spend money? Yeah. Are you gonna have some cash flow issues in the beginning? Yeah, I mean, that's business. I mean, what is going on with people nowadays thinking that you're gonna start a business with no risk? Every business has risk, but I feel like freaking Neo from the Matrix. I feel like I have found a glitch in the Matrix. And I mean, check this item out right here. Paid 30, bought it at the end of September, sold within literally like instantly when it finally got checked in because of the whole process. 30 to 95.99. And big shout out to Replay Catcher as well. Some of you guys are like, he's only making videos because of Replay Catcher. He's only doing it to promote his software. See, the difference between me and some of these other people out there, these gurus, is I actually walk the walk. I live this, I do this. I share my profits, I share my products, I share my margins. Why? Because I'm confident in what I do. And when you walk the walk and you've been doing it for so many years, you have no problem sharing with people because you have nothing to hide. You're not, a lot of these gurus, they never share with you their items, their sales. They don't want you to find out their store, which anybody can find my store if they wanted to. All you need to do is just know a couple of products, which I share all the time. And you could use Keep a Product Finder and Keep it to just find people's stores. But that's the difference between me and them. I live it. I do it. I've been doing it, right? And here's the thing about life, not to go down a rabbit hole, but I'm going to. If you want to make more money in your Amazon business, if you want to make more money just in general, find ways to add value. Become good at something and make something really, really great. And that's what I've done with Replay Catcher. I built Replay Catcher, which is the software that I use for eBay to Amazon flipping. I built it for myself. Matter of fact, I didn't even release it to anybody the first year. I spent tens of thousands of dollars building it and making it the best eBay to Amazon software, building features that don't even exist, right? Because I used to use Flipmine and there was all these things that I wanted to do and they just wouldn't build. So I did it myself. But that's how you get paid. You get paid for adding value and you get paid for being honest and transparent. That's my belief. So for anyone who's talking that trash, I'll tell you right now, you're talking to the wrong guy because I'm walking the walk and talking the talk, baby. So that's flip number 6 and that's the end of rant number 1. We'll see if I have rant number 2 by the end of this video. But last flip, number 7. Guys, this is what I am talking about. This is what gets me freaking fired up, is flipping this old, discontinued stuff. Like this vintage WMEX 190 Walkman, right? This is what my dad used to use on the treadmill when he used to walk. Not a sexy product. People are gonna laugh. They're gonna say, this guy's flipping freaking Walkmans. What a joke. You're obviously not educated, not you, but anyone who thinks that. You're not educated. And anyone who says, you can't sell this item for $276, what do you mean? I did. Look, there's proof on the screen. Look at my go-to list or sale right there. And I haven't done this once. I've done this like 20 times with different Walkmans, right? I have actually found these at thrift stores. Old CD players, old Walkmans, brand new sealed, they sell for hundreds. Some of them can sell for over $300-400. This one sold for $276. I sniped it off of eBay with Replay Catcher for $140. And after fees, people say, oh, the Amazon fees are so much. It is ridiculous. I don't care how high the fees are. Like, yeah, I would like them to be lower, but I don't care how much the fees are. What I'm more concerned with, what I care about more is how much money I can make per hour. This took my team a couple of minutes to source, a couple of minutes to input some data for our, prep center. And then it goes to FBA and it sells and I make $107. I mean, this is some of the easiest money. But Steve, what if it gets returned? What if you're walking in your neighborhood and a freaking branch falls off the tree and kills you? Anything could happen. There's risk. But if you know your numbers, and I'll put my numbers right here. This is my latest KPI sheet. This breaks down all the profit. Just in October alone, I'm at almost like $15,000 net profit on seller board after returns, after paying $3,000 for a team. And I don't mean to speak down to people, but we're living in a world now where there's just so many people who yip yap and they don't walk the walk and talk the talk. The proof is in the pudding, guys. So anyways, these are the types of items I'm flipping. And guess what? I'm not special. Right? Sometimes I make these videos and people are like, man, but Steve can do it. He's special. I'm not special. I'm not the brightest bulb out there. I bet you 96% of you guys are smarter than me. And I bet you 82% of you can work harder than me. It's not about how smart you are and even how hard you work. It's about educating yourself and getting 1% better every day, learning how to use these softwares like Replay Catcher, listing with GoToLister, or getting a prep center, or, obviously big shout out to SellerAmp for sponsoring this video, but I use them. This is how I analyze all my deals. It's about learning these skills and it's about putting your money where your mouth is. A lot of you guys, you don't put your money where your mouth is. You're really good at typing on the keyboard, right? And blaming people and saying, screw you, Amazon, and the thrift stores, and I don't have money because of this and that. But it's like, neither did I when I first started. I've been working my ass off for the last 12 years. So it's not a competition between you and I and the next guy and the next girl. It's about where you are, learning a skill and getting good at it, right? And spending $30 on eBay to Amazon the first week, or maybe going to the thrift store, right? I'm not here to convince you to do eBay to Amazon. I'm just sharing with you the possibilities because I'm putting over 6 figures in my pocket per year as a bozo, right? So if I could do it, you could do it, but it takes time. It takes learning, putting money where your mouth is, investing, making mistakes, not having a ton of cash flow in the beginning, dealing with the returns, figuring out what items to flip. So it's a journey, it's a process. Rant number 2 over. I knew I was gonna go into another rant, but guys, I'm passionate about this stuff. This is why I say this and I talk like this, because I care about you guys. I wanna see you win. If I could do it, you can easily do it. Maybe not all the same items that I flip. Maybe you're gated, maybe you have some issues, maybe you're gonna have to go slow in the beginning, but so did I, right? So guys, just wanna say thank you so much for watching this video. If you have any more questions, drop a comment down below. And also big thank you and gratitude to SellerAmp for sponsoring this video and helping to sponsor the channel and making it possible for me to put so much effort and time into these videos and whatnot. And thanks again to SellerAmp because I use your tool every single day. And so does my team of virtual assistants. We're using it every single time before we analyze or purchase a deal. We're analyzing it, using the Keepa charts, the buy box analysis, looking at the offers. So not to beat a dead horse, but I am grateful to be in this community, to have this opportunity with eBay to Amazon and with these great tools and everything. So with that being said, much love, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.